Another mass shooting. Women and children are going missing. And who's going to protect the matriarch? All of that and more on Brewhaha, the truth. Don't forget to click the like button and to hit the subscribe for more exclusive content on the truth. Namaste, squad. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing okay. I hope everybody's put some of that, the mudra, into effect to kind of help assist yourself, you know. I came on today. I didn't record last week, I don't believe. Apologies about skipping that. Um, had some things come up. And so I just been kind of sitting back and watching and trying to stay as organic as possible. And it's kind of like once you have the ability to see things from a different perspective, you cannot see shit the same at all. No more movies, no more TV. Everything's suspect. But I did want to say that I had to kind of remind myself to that you do see things differently, and that things are meant to be seen differently. Otherwise, you just kind of stay with the status quo, and that's defeats the purpose of waking up. Okay. I happen to notice. So I'll share like a couple of my experiences, and I think my editing director wants me not to curse as much, but she is sadly mistaken. So So I just wanted to share with you guys some things that I had kind of viewed this week. I didn't feel like the super spiritual awakening type week thing. Well, that's not completely true. Not completely true. Okay. And yes, we are still having salt for those that are waiting for the audiologist. I, I said I had some things that happened last week. I'm gonna get to her. I swear to you, I am. Promise you, I owe it to myself. Part of me actually wants to go do the yoniologist services first, and she's fantastic hair. But I definitely want to go through and kind of have my own feels and experience with that first. That was another reason why, because I also don't want to promote without actually promoting. Kind of stupid, right? That's why we ask you to like and subscribe. Like, we know you watching. Just say it. Like, let it be known. Like, just give the kicker clicker. That's it. Like and subscribe. The both of them. Okay. Anyways, um, that I want to like and subscribe to her full service business too. So that's another reason why I've not brought her on yet. So, but I've been in contact with her. She's still excited about coming on. I just want to say that because I'm kind of committing to her for almost 3 weeks now. Or committing her to you guys for 3 weeks now. And I know people are actually like calling, where is she coming? Because, and I'm like, yeah, me too. But don't fret, she's still coming. So I am again on this week. I'm going to talk about just some of my shared experiences because I think that that at least a couple of the experiences may have crossed a few minds based on some of the conversations I'm having. So, first things first. So I did want to share something I kind of feel like it was probably felt by more than just one. We all know they've been talking about, the energy the sun's given, and all the things that are happening, and how the sun just like flaring up. It's flaring up, right? And then I happen to notice that going to the beach on Saturday, I went out to go soak up some sun. And I'll be damned if it did not. The sun was out like peekaboo, I see you all day, and then no sun, and then we got rain, and I was like, okay, normal activity, maybe. But my first instinct was like, they're just doing a really good job at masking the sun. Take a look at this clip.
Bill Gates doesn't think of himself that way. Bill Gates doesn't think of himself as some guy who got super rich making bad software. Bill Gates thinks of himself as God, in control of the solar system. And that's why Bill Gates is now backing something called sun-dimming technology that would reflect sunlight out of the Earth's atmosphere, causing global cooling.
So then I was like, you're crazy, right? Not really. And then it was today, as a matter of fact, I get outside, the sun was out earlier, it was just so beautiful out, And then when I got out this evening, I mean, with this is just it seems to be on a normal schedule around 5 or 6 o'clock. This normal paced overcast of excessive cloudiness. And I promise you, today, when I was driving home from the kids' dance, it was clouds upon cloud. I mean, it looked afforded to a goose down blanket for miles. I mean, like as far as literally my eyes could see, from left to right, north to west, was it left to right, up to down, north to south, east to west, whichever, all the way around. And it was just like, check out this clip.
We are very, very close, and all the people on the inside know this. This is the key of disclosure. We are very close to some sort of energetic shift that the sun is going to do. There have already been multiple experiments, I've heard this from several insiders, in which they take ordinary folks and they put them into a room and they zap them with the energy that our sun is going to give off when we go through this change. They become very blissed out. They start to get really telepathic. They can move things with their mind. Everybody kind of goes into a psychedelic trip. Our government knows that this is going to happen, where there's no veil left, where we are wide open to reality.
And it was like the sun was like my forehead, the sun was like, and it was just no reason for it to be so shiny and so freaking cloudy forever. I mean, it seemed to just run and run and run like some shit out of the Truman Show. It was really weird. So, anyways, I don't know if somebody else experiencing that, or if I'm just who else is experiencing that? Who else saw that and said the same thing? I know there's at least two of you. Um, so we saw the weather and the hail in Florida, and I saw Brother Rod Hayes had put up or sorry, Linus Din had put up a forecast, and it was kind of showing all of the things happening around the world weather wise. Um, yeah. So and that was one thing. And the other thing that happened is I felt like this major shift in energy. I want to say it was probably last Monday before last, not this past Monday, but the Monday before that. And I was at work and I was perfectly fine. And I get back from eating this one piece of Kroger fried chicken. And I promise you, had you told me that they had infused chicken, I'd have believed it. When I got to work, it was so powerful, the knock that it gave me, that I literally thought like maybe someone put some juju in here, or like it's like I felt completely insane. I went to my boss and I was like, and I said to her, I don't feel good. I don't feel right. I don't feel well. I said, it feels like someone literally just shoved something in my back. And I said, if I close my eyes and tilt my head back, I promise you I may ascend, like to death. Like I felt so knocked off, just it was just so instantaneous. And then it just so happens that there were a myriad of things um that happened, and not to me or with me, just me, but the week preceding, which was kind of the thing that held us from recording last week. And there were some major shifts in energy about the same time that we were talking about some major sun energy, just beating down on us. And so at the same time the whole seaweed thing happened too. I don't know if any of this correlates one with the other, but whatever. I thought that was awkward to hear it on the news and see it twice in one week. As why does it matter? Okay, but it matters. Um, so I definitely, and I was encouraged to definitely, my editing director, she says, why don't you just get on there and talk about what you felt? And I was like, because I don't feel like it. I don't feel good. Like some things, and this thing lasted for a few days, and it was so evident that when I got to work the following day after I was off, my boss, she kind of pulled me to, and she says, "Are you all right? Are you better today?" And I was like, "Oh, to be honest with you, I was thinking at myself. I said I'm only like 70% better, so I still feel a little loopy, a little off." And she she says, "Yeah, because if a customer had called." it would have been, a different type of situation. And and I think at that moment, it kind of like shook me to the core to realize that it was so physically evident that whatever it was that I was feeling really had me off my game. I told her, I said it was very hard for me to concentrate. It was hard for me to count. I couldn't function, like cognitive function was not working well for me. Now, maybe this could just be a one off because I'm old. That's fine. But I don't think so. I don't know. It was very different for me. So I didn't come here and talk all about how I felt last week either, but I thought it was poignant because I did not come on last week to discuss it when it probably would have hit a little harder. um, I didn't take the time to do this, so I did what I'm bringing it forth this week. So if you felt something, it was kind of like a pull. I mean, not the feeling itself, but the the intent behind the feeling felt like a pull to stay where the fuck I was, and or a pull back. It was kind of almost like a reeling, like when you cast a rod for a fish and you reel it in. It was like that. Ooh, it was like this instant, like just yank. And it was like a fish and a hook. And for 2 days, I just felt like I was just flopping through. I felt it just was, I mean, it was so, so evident that I literally would not go outside without my shoes off. Every minute I got to ground, I tried. I had taken advice I'd given, take your shoes off, stay in the grass, and put your hands up to a tree. And in the minute of doing, to mind you, the tree's in the front yard on like a pretty busy street. So, I mean, I've done worse. I've looked worse. I walked to a graveyard with a long dress on. It looked weird. It started raining. The guy probably thought I was a witch. It was awkward. It was weird. But anyways, and so, but I didn't care, obviously, because it was necessary for me to ground. And so, but I would not walk to the car. I would not go take out the trash with my shoes on. Everything was done, even going to work that morning with my shoes off. I just felt I needed to find a place. I felt so floaty and so in between, and not in like, but there's no going back. It just was a really weird feeling. And like I said, it could have been. I'm not even gonna do that. It was a really weird feeling. So any of you that felt that last week, that felt that pull, that felt that yank, um, I'm telling you, it took a lot. It was a very heavy, out of nowhere, just punch in the back. So, so with that, I just kind of sat still and worked on my meditation, worked on grounding, um, and worked on making sure that the intent behind everything I was doing was with purpose, and not just to be doing it. So, but I happened to just kind of be sitting back and I did some conscious listening, but I also, just taking a look at some of the stuff, and I happened to discover a particular video that caught my attention. There is a gentleman that is on YouTube that happened to go over cases of missing African American women in the United States, and it discussed the disproportionate assistance or disproportionate drive to get sisters found. Now, we all know this is not news, right? We get it. They've done the very much needed database for missing African American youth. I'm trying to find specifically this one page I was watching because I do want to give this young gentleman representation. The gentleman's channel is called What I'm Mad At. Okay. So he has some very intriguing videos about, the industry and a few select people in the industry that we all know ain't they dirt, we know. And he did a video called Black Women Are Getting Deleted. Shanquella and so many more ignored. So as I'm cleaning up, going through, I'm listening to this and it's tugging at me because days prior to this, I saw a very disturbing video. It was a thing on TikTok or something. Um, where they said racism explained in 30 seconds. And I'm pretty sure many, many of you watching have seen it. And it was the disgraceful rendition of what happens when one of us go missing in real time. And when someone of another nationality goes missing, it was very, I think, very jaw dropping, very heart breaking as a Black woman, as a woman, period, as a mother of daughters, as a mother of brown girls. I probably could have I probably could have taken a golden lasso and lashed every adult in that crowd that did not stop to check in on this child. So they put a little girl that had to be about 4. She was 4. We're going to say 4, which is right after 3 and right before 5, pre-K age. And she had on an outfit, just a regular with shorts and t-shirt, and her hair's up in like one ponytail, and she stands there. Now you see that there's obviously an officiator of this little experiment, um, that is like standing probably 20 feet from her, but by all accounts, she's alone. He's wearing a construction vest, not like a parent. So they're in the middle of a courtyard of a shopping center. And you can see Tulsa people with bags on the streets walking. And this little girl is standing there for probably what is, I don't know, 15 to 30 seconds based on the clip itself. So then what happens is you then see them replace the little girl with a little girl of a different race. And within seconds of her being left alone, people who probably would have visually seen someone walk her to this spot and then walk away. It wasn't like they cleared the area to let crowds come through. This shit was happening in real time on a regular day. And I watched. Now, graciously, thank God someone cares about a child, because we know that our children have absolutely zero fucking rights in this place. But it made me well up with anger, fear, concern. Because if my child were in the middle of a shopping center alone at the fucking age of 4, or any age for that matter, where there looks like a parent should be nearby, that no one would stop to help my child. That's what I saw. So seeing this video from this great gentleman, I mean I binge watched some of the stuff today. I thought it was very, I like his style. I really love his style. Um to see that video was compounding of what I had already seen, and it really, really bothered me. And I tend to find out that when things really, really, really bother me, that it's something that really, really needs to be discussed. So we've talked about things that are just kind of whirling in the pool right now: matriarchy, our children, um, 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 brown people being used. And I don't just mean black people, or however you choose to classify it. Right now is not the time. When you see brown babies, I'm talking about those children that were in Pennsylvania, were they? All of the children not returned to the parents, the 85,000 children the Congress is arguing that they can't fucking find. I am, and then here's the catch-all that brings all them together. Not even weeks prior to this did I watch the information given about how they were basically taking children from sometime in the 1800s to the 1920s or 40s, bringing them over to Ellis Island. How do you manage to transport 125 children from one place? It's a lot of fucking children with no parents to care. And you took them and utilized them for repopulation. Those, I think I said this before, all those baby doors, things y'all see in the hospital, dropping baby off in a safe space. That shit is not new. It's not original. They've been doing it. And so to see the situation with the children being transported from other countries to populate, and I mean like the world, they were spread out, given different given different nationalities to appropriate the paperwork. Then we know our youth go missing, our young men go missing or killed, their bodies are buried without the organs. the situations are turned up, like the one mother who is, and she's in the Shanquilla video that I'm telling you about. It discusses how the young lady who was supposedly had died drunk driving, and she was with her friends, and when the mother spoke with the mother of the boyfriend or friend of a boy, I mean, the young man that was supposed to be with her, he was allegedly coming out of heart surgery, and then you could hear him screaming and yelling. So either way, going through the video the gentleman put up, there were at least 11 immediate red flags, like the fact that she was supposedly had no legs, no arms, and so she had to cremate her child. But then the body tag was put on the arm of the girl. How'd she do that with no arms? Then, there being the father that came to the crash site repeatedly to tell the woman whose car was this car supposedly crashed, that he had a son die there, not a girl. And the mother asked what, because she went to do a memorial at the spot where the crash was. So my apologies for not being prepared with names and accuracies, but I think generally we all know the stories. And so then the mother at the end, as I'm listening, because I'm just listening, and she goes, I've never felt my daughter was deceased. I've never felt it. I thought maybe I was crazy because I didn't think that I don't think she's gone. So where is she? She had no proof to provide. They wouldn't provide dental records, which by all accounts, so what happened? So then you have the young man who, now when I tell you as a young man, I mean, these are teenagers, high school students, or just young lady, very responsible, got her location on. So does the other young lady, making sure her parents knew where she was. She went to go hang with the cousin. Allegedly, the body of this young woman is still in a garbage dump. It's almost a year ago, I believe, if not. They will never recover her body in a landfill that they waited 8 months to go search. And she was with a young boy cousin who had no answers that were valid as to what he did with this young woman's body. Then you start to think about our young men that are in this. The only way I can get rich is hip hop bullshit. I'm confused. I'm confused as to why you even let somebody make a monkey out of you in that sense, to give up, literally lose your soul to gain the world. You gain the world to lose your soul. There's not enough money in the world. There's not enough money in the universe that would have me sacrifice what would be a matriarch. And these young people, these groups of people going on these trips, killing their friends and shit. What's wrong with y'all? Who's paying you? You're just not gonna tell me there's all of a sudden this major uproar of black girls that are, I mean, and when I say black girls, I mean um black girls between the ages of 14 and 32 being killed, murdered by their partners, spouses, and these ain't even, most of them ain't even husbands. They not even husbands. Disappearing, acting your children, killing your kids. Stuff we used to call the other people stuff. You know, not the us stuff. Y'all out here doing the most. And then it makes me think about B-Dell and the comments he was making about us moving into this next dimension, and how people, they can't see untethering. And so they freak out and panic, which leads me to all the every damn day I cut the TV on is a new mass shooting some damn where, in a mall, at a church, in a school, at a farm, on a donkey, on a lake. It's a mass shooting every day. Every day. Okay. Okay. But we relaxing gun laws though. Okay. Nice. That's how that works. And all they can say is, "Oh, the latest one, the eight people shot." Okay, the parents and the 3-year-old that passed here recently, out on a shopping trip, just normal. Oh, the suspect experienced anti-Semitism or whatever it is. So y'all just out here just everyday mass shooting people. What are you provoking people into fear back into their homes for the next round of COVID? Is that what it is? You can't go to the store. And then here's the really crazy part about it. When the shit hits home, coworkers, mother's car, shut up, middle of the damn day. All 5 of them young and dumb, 15, 16 years old. From what I hear, out of all the families, only one act like they had some sense to understand their child might have been slightly responsible for the dumb shit he just did. And you almost killed 2 innocent people. And for what? Clout? So when I sit back and I think about the rise that we're calling to women, and I think about, we it's a real concept to think about who protects the protector. Who protects the protector? We as women go about our daily lives feeding, protecting, praising, praying for, laboring, putting ourselves last, and still having to be head of the pack every fucking day. Well, who's protecting your protectors? I don't understand why there is such a. I mean, I do understand it, but it's a lot to go into. But on a common sense basis, on just a regular ass per day, let me look myself in the mirror basis. What I'm not understanding is where are the protectors of the protectors? So we can call it to women, but it called the men. Why are there still panels where black men are saying that the root of the black society or social equality is the black woman? Why is it? What have you done to the black woman to have to make her resent even needing your help? Because when somebody have to all the time, they just do. It becomes ingrained in your DNA. You can take it as far back as to whatever you want to teach is. Well, we'll go back to just slavery, period. No matter where the slaves came from, no matter how it was indoctrinated, no matter how the whole concept. You split the families up. You buck the men and you break them down mentally. They can't even hold their head up to the woman. She got to figure it out anyway, and she got to work in the fields and nurse the babies and nurse the other babies and clean, and then at the end of the day cook and then wash the clothes and all of the things. We've been doing this shit for a long time. We probably thought we were going to get retrieval in the 1950s. Good luck with that shit. I don't understand. I don't understand why there's such a loss of respect. It's one thing for you to not respect yourself, but it might be something else to respect at least the people that feed you, clothe you, pay for you. You don't even gotta like me, but you could at least respect my gangster. I talk to more women on a regular basis, and I'm one of them, honey. We've all been there. And you know how many times I have to tell a woman, you're not stupid. You're a woman. Women are emotional creatures. We're built and mapped and wired insanely, I won't say insanely different, but definitely different. The nurturing aspect and all those things. When I say emotional, I mean nurturing. I mean that. But at the same time, you can't have a full bucket constantly emptying itself out and nobody filling the bucket on the back end while you standing back there looking at the empty bucket, kicking the bucket. That's the dumbest shit I ever seen. I've seen more black men in the past year inflict more pain and punishment on the women and children that they're supposed to protect because she don't want to deal with you not protecting her no more. And I said today when I was going to talk about this, I wasn't going to come from a sore place, and I'm not. What I'm coming from is a realistic place. It's a real fucking question to ask yourself. As a woman, as a man, as people, what happened to respect? What happened to just making sure that you protected or gave a shit about the things that give a shit about you? And if it's not always said, or if she's got us, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of this. Remember in the movie Harlem Nights when Della Reese is in the kitchen, Eddie Murphy. It's not those real people, but it's the characters. After he shot her pinky toe. And, she's complaining about the juice. Why are you going to leave just swallow juice? And she's, you want a sandwich? And, the guys in the living room, she really is just a sweet woman. Just go apologize. And he goes in the kitchen. She's just abrasive. She's got to be strong. And then turn around. And when he walks out of the kitchen, what she do? She just breaks down and cries. I just love that little boy. That's us every day. That's women every day. Not just Black women, period. Women every day. The struggle to find the balance. But if you're never coming back in the kitchen to fucking apologize and genuinely mean it, all you get is that struggle case that you don't see when you walk away with the tears and all of the things. And I think that a very large part of, and I will say of our younger generation, is that there's been a generalized driving force for lack of respect, for lack of self-respect, right? And it's starting to bleed through in a very unconscious and eerie way. A lot of the conversations I get from elder gentlemen that just on a daily basis, when I say elder, I mean anyone over the age of 40. I'm 42, so whatever the hell you want to look at it. But I'm trying to give an age range. I'll even say 35. I don't mean young cats. I mean, men, I guess, right? Allegedly. So 35. This is, and I've had this conversation more than once. You can't compliment a woman anymore. Everything's sexual harassment. This one gentleman stood in my job and talked about how he said to a woman, "You can go ahead, ma'am." And this young girl like to bit his entire head off in that Wawa. And the really sad ultimate outcome was that she didn't even know how to be respected because he called you ma'am. He's supposed to fucking call you. He don't know you. He don't know you, Barbara. He don't. Excuse me, bitch. Is that what you want to hear? And I think I was really astonished that maybe how adamant this. I mean, this conversation lasts a long time. And I was like trying, well, maybe she, well, maybe, no, no. So just no. So just regular, just ma'am. That's all you said. You didn't wink or just. And he was so distraught because he's like, well, what do I do? So then let's say you do that. You drive the younger generation to be all of the and I do not give a whoever that dumb one is with the tattoo on her neck with the gap or missing tooth. Christy BB. Okay. Publicity stunt or not, some shit's just too far. This is when you run out of this, you run out of self-respect when you're just doing anything for cash at this point. Fucking ridiculous. So what do you just do? Just treat everybody like a city girl? I don't want to be treated like a city girl. I don't want to be treated like a city girl at all. Because at the end of the day, women don't want to be treated like a city girl. Maybe in a particular aspect of your life, okay? But not, yes, not gonna get it. Who wants to struggle in that way? Who wants to not have a positive partnership? People are giving too much too soon of themselves more before they even know who they are. Before you even know who you are, how do you know who you are by the time you're 25? You don't. Because you're going to grow out of that 25-year-old. You're going to grow out of that 28-year-old. You're going to grow out of that 32-year-old mindset. You're going to grow out of that 40-year-old mindset. And eventually you're going to be 60 and be like, I can say what I want. Yeah, but make sure you haven't burned every bridge up until that point. That part. You should be talking to yourself, stupid. Namaste, team. Namaste, squad. So it's been real. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content from Brewhaha the Truth. And we will see you later.